This is Erica Lopez.
And Ty Dickinson from the University of Oklahoma Weather Lab with your weekly regional forecast starting on Friday, November 17th, 2017.
Welcome to another podcast, and this one is jam-packed full of great information. Several new outlooks ranging from the 1 month to seasonal in addition to a drought outlook is discussed. Thanks again for tuning in, and let's begin.
Examining temperatures first, an upper air ridge is forecast over the western CONUS, tilting odds towards above normal. These probabilities reach into the 80s in the Four Corners region and Southern California. Above normal probabilities are favored as far east as the plains. Below normal temperatures are favored due to unusually strong northerly flow in parts of the East Coast and Great Lakes.
Days 8 to 14 are similar to days 6 to 10. Above normal probabilities are slightly lower in the southwest but are favored further east, pushing into the Great Lakes and the north and Mississippi, and the south again under an upper air ridge. Parts of Florida, Panhandle, and East Coast up through the Mid-Atlantic are favored for below normal temperatures in association with strong northerly flow.
Let us look at precipitation now. Above normal precipitation is favored for the Pacific Northwest and into the northern plains ahead of a forecast trough in the Pacific Ocean. Above normal precipitation is also favored throughout Florida due to expected frontal activity. Virtually the rest of the CONUS has odds tilted towards below normal for precipitation, with the greatest probabilities in the south central region.
The precipitation outlook for days 8 to 14 is almost the same as in days 6 to 10. The locations of the above and below normal probabilities are basically the same, except where Florida is now favored for below normal, meaning the frontal passages should not be long in duration. Overall, precipitation anomalies are about 1 inch to 1.5 inches either way for these time frames.
Moving to the drought monitor now, the onset of drought continues throughout the southern United States. While there was some improvement in central Texas, many places saw conditions worsen to D1 drought to the south and west of these improved areas. Dry areas now extend to the Gulf Coast. Abnormally dry conditions continue to creep into Oklahoma also. The main focus, though, is on the severe drought that is now covering most of Arkansas and moderate drought now extending into northern Louisiana. Abnormally dry short-term conditions are now also being seen in parts of Florida and the Florida Panhandle. The seasonal drought outlook was also just updated. Unfortunately, drought is expected to develop or persist in most of Texas, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, the Florida Panhandle, and all of Louisiana. One of the main drivers for this outlook is the La Niña onset.
Another new outlook issued by the Climate Prediction Center is their sub-seasonal or monthly outlooks. For the month of December, the spatial pattern of the temperatures is similar to that of the typical La Niña winter. Confidence is lesser in some parts of the CONUS, like the Great Lakes, for example, due to another climate signals providing somewhat different inputs. Confidence, however, is higher in the southwest due to the combination of climate signals and recent trends. Overall, much of the CONUS is currently forecast for equal chances as there remains some uncertainty.
Looking at the precipitation outlook for December now, the overall pattern of above and below normal tilts is again similar to that of La Niña conditions. Dynamical models are also in fairly good agreement. Below normal precipitations are highest, unfortunately, in the southern United States as drought conditions continue to develop in the region. With all this in mind, long-term planning involving drought might need to start being thought about.
Lastly, the CPC also updated their seasonal outlooks. Seasonal outlooks are those done regarding 3-month periods. The seasonal outlooks are heavily influenced by La Niña conditions that have developed in the Pacific and that are forecast to persist throughout the winter. Below normal temperatures are favored for the Pacific Northwest and the northern plains, while above normal temperatures are favored for the entire East Coast, the Southeast, the Southwest, and the central and southern plains. Outlooks are virtually the same through March, April, May 2018 outlook.
Much like the seasonal temperature outlooks, the seasonal precipitation outlooks are dominated by the impact from La Niña. Unfortunately for the south again, this means odds are tilted towards below normal for the next several seasons. Probabilities for this outlook are highest in the extreme southwest at about 50%. Above normal precipitation is favored for much of the northwest, high plains, and Great Lakes, so possibly prepare for a bit of snow this winter. However, again, we want to stress that these are typical patterns seen during La Niña winters and are not set in stone.
Once again, this podcast has been brought to you by the University of Oklahoma Weather Lab, a top academic weather and research program in the United States and partner of the Southern Climate Impacts Planning Program. Watch for our forecast Fridays on the Oklahoma Weather Lab channel on YouTube.